Hello YouTubers, welcome to my channel. I hope you are doing well today. I want to thank everyone who continues to support my channel, and my P. Dinah Deutsch channel has been a little late in getting up videos, but they're coming. There was a really bad mix-up and upsetting situation around the SD cards. I lost some footage that I had shot, and yeah, it is what it is, so I just got to redo it, but they're coming. In response to what has happened today, so we can see that victory really is not a vindication for Harry and Meghan's repeated attacks on the entire press. But what we can see is that Meghan has really caused a lot of issues with the royal family. She's dredged up a lot of information that is polarizing people, and it's just not good. It's created this dynamic within this institution that is meant to do good for people, and it has soured all the good that is to be done. And a lot of the focus is going on the drama, the soap opera that Meghan has brought into the royal family. Not only that, but most recently I had yet another blow up with a black woman about Meghan Markle, and what really is so astonishing to me is that the oversight and not wanting to look at Meghan's behavior, but yet criticize people who call out her behavior. And let's always remember this: there would be nothing to talk about. There would be nothing to say that was appearing to be negative towards Meghan if she would just do the right thing, if she would just be a much more upstanding person within her own choices. So it's not the people talking about her bad behavior, but it is the bad behavior that Meghan continues to exude on the world stage. That is the issue, and this is what she continues to do, and this is what she did by this whole letter that she manipulated. And it all comes down to her relationship with her father, a man who has taken care of her whole life, a man who she has always talked about in her speeches and on her blog, The Tig. She has always praised her father, but yet when she became into this royal family, no longer was her father good enough for her. No longer did she want to associate with this man, because she had reached a new pillar of status within her own life that she just didn't have time to be bothered with him. And that says a lot about Meghan and her character. And these are the issues that we're talking about. These are the issues, and we really have to stay focused on what the real issues are. And there could be some backlash about the lies that came out as well. But let's go ahead and take a look at what this article is actually saying. So the judgment, when it finally came, it was very swift, and this appeal will be dismissed, declared Sir Geoffrey Voss at the end of a court case that has lasted more than 2.5 years. Now, summarizing the decision made by the Master of Rolls and fellow judges Dame Victoria Sharp and Lord Justice Bean, he made it clear that the Court of Appeal reiterated the narrowness of the issues it had to debate. And I remember watching that and seeing how they always kept trying to rein in, what the specific issue was that they were actually, appealing. And at the end of the day, that was something that they still agreed with, but a lot came out in that court case that revealed a lot more about other things that will subsequently come out later, because Meghan was exposed for the lies that she did tell. Let's not forget that. So this case had started in October of 2019, right? As Meghan versus the whole press, which she claimed had a vendetta against her. And it was not the entire press. You can't put everyone into one basket and say, y'all the bad guys, like all of y'all the bad guys. It was one publication. And you can see how Meghan has also done this with her whole family. She has taken her whole family and has labeled them bad people by never speaking with them again. We have her whole family on her mother's side that have never spoken out against the press or never said anything about her. I mean, I think there were some pictures that they released because they were proud. This is our family member. And I guess Meghan wanted to use that as a reason for never speaking with these people ever again. Like ever, never. Okay. So, taking a family and just dismissing a whole family that really got you to where you are is something that you are putting out so negative within the universe. And it says a lot about her character. And these are the things that people that want to support Meghan should not overlook. And I get people wanting to support her because they want the fairy tale. They want the woman of color married into the royal family, which she is not the first. We know there were other mixed people within the royal family, and that cannot be overlooked. But in the more recent times, we see they want to hold on to this fairy tale narrative. So over the course of the next 25 months, the scope had become tethered to one central issue. Was it proportionate for the Mail on Sunday to have published the contents of a 5-page letter from the Duchess to her daddy? Now, in the end, it did not matter that Meghan had admitted to her former communications chief, Jason Knopf, she had obviously written the letter with the understanding that it could be leaked, or that she had referred to Thomas Markle as her daddy in order to pull at the heartstrings of the people reading the letter. Okay, that didn't even matter, but it was good to know, was it not? It was really good to have that insight. Or we have to look at the information that did come out that brought some more factual information into the assumptions that we have all made based on her actions. So the Court of Appeal found that Meghan had a reasonable expectation of privacy in the contents of the letter, despite being meticulously in her choice of words, so that if her father leaked it, quote, the world would know the truth. Meghan's words. Okay, so of the thought she put into the letter, the Duchess had said, trust me, toiled over every detail of the letter, which could be manipulated. So she thought it could be leaked because that was the whole premise for her writing the letter, because it's going to get out into the public and she wanted it to look rather good for her. So no matter, it was ruled the contents remained personal and private and not matters of legitimate public interest. And this is what the courts have said. The Court of Appeal agreed with Lord Justice Warby, who handed down the summary judgment in Meghan's favor, that it would be okay for the Associated Newspaper Limited to have published a very small part of the handwritten correspondence, but not half of the contents of the 5-page letter, which Meghan had numbered carefully so it could not be read in part. So out of the 585 words that were released, of the 1,250 words that were actually published, they published half of that, and that just was not okay by the courts. So it simply wasn't proportionate to have countered a People magazine, because remember, this letter originally was talked about in the People magazine in February of 2019, where Meghan's friends were speaking about this letter that she had wrote to her father, giving the contents and details of that, about her relationship with her father, and really laying out all the information from the letter, which again, Meghan says she didn't know her friends were going to do that. And we know that's a lie. Just a lie. So them countering and putting this in the newspaper after People published what they said the letter had said via her friends, there was no reason for them to do that. This is the main central issue. Okay, so, and there's a whole bunch of other things out there, but the court's not looking at that. They're looking specifically at this. So at what the Duchess's apology for failing to remember text and email exchanges with Mr. Knopf concerning the briefing of the authors of Finding Freedom, her lawyers had previously claimed that she hadn't cooperated, but Mr. Knopf's witness statement suggested quite the opposite. So this was at best an unfortunate lapse of memory on her part. Remember, she put out that apology saying that she didn't remember cooperating with the authors of Finding Freedom. Well, Lord Justice Bean diplomatically said, well, he believed her. He believed that she didn't remember. Now, keep in mind, we have like 31 other back and forth correspondences about her not remembering. Judge believed her. Okay, we know Meghan wasted no time. She got her briefing out about, all right, I won, y'all. And then the things in the statement where she talked about winning, Oh my goodness. It's like you cannot say this and all the things that we know about your past and how you behaved. Like there's a contradiction. So, you know, for me, the hypocrisy of it all is just really sickening and deafening. And a lot of people don't want to hear the truth. A lot of people don't want to recognize that, you know, the things that Meghan claims to be her way of looking at this as a victory goes in complete contrast to her own actions. Her own actions. And I'm going to talk about that. That's what we're going to talk about. So not so subtly referring to the daily fail and what she did. She said in quotes, daily fail is what she wrote in her response. The nickname of the Daily Mail in some quarters, she added. While this win, this is Meghan speaking, is precedent setting, what matters most is that we are now collectively brave enough to reshape a tabloid industry that conditions people to be cruel and profits from the lies and pain that they create. Now, let's keep it real, okay? Let's just do a mic drop right here, okay? What has Meghan done to the royal family? How has she profited off of the lies that she has told, the lies that she has told about the royal family? She clearly has profited. She's clearly done the same thing that she's accusing the tabloids of doing. How is that justified? How can you, with a straight face and a pen and write, collectively we're brave enough to reshape the tabloid industry and the conditions the people to be cruel and profit off of the lies and the pain that they create? Meghan has done the same thing, but she's able to do it not in a court, but she has done it within social media, with Oprah Winfrey, within her own private setting. She has done the exact same thing. And speaking of tabloids, for someone who didn't really know much about tabloids, remember when she talked about, you know, we don't have this in America, tabloids, but she was really brave to sue something she didn't know much about. It's very questionable to me. And these are the things that we're looking at, the actions, the behavior of this woman and how she is trying to manipulate and twist and turn things. It's really, it says a lot. More will come out, but let's continue. So these harmful practices don't happen once in a blue moon. They are a daily fail that divide us, and we all deserve better. And I would say that Meghan's father and family deserve better from her. They deserve better to be treated like real human beings who have made a mistake, who may have done things that she didn't like, but do not deserve the treatment that Meghan is continually to do to this day to people who supported and gave her everything that she needed to be successful in life. She was not neglected. She came from a middle-class household. She was loved. She was supported. There's a lot to be said when you come from a family like that, because I work with young children who don't come from homes like that, and they're destined for a life of hardship and criminal life. And there's a lot to be said for someone who grows up the way Meghan has, and to have what she has, the opportunities. You have to give credit to the people who have brought her up and who have raised her and who have taught her and nurtured and cared for her. And her forgetting about those people really says a lot about Meghan's character and how power and how celebrity, how it has changed her in a way to be cruel herself. And that can't be overlooked. No matter how much you want to be a fan, or no matter how much you love her, no matter how nice she may have been to you personally, we have to look at how someone who is on a public stage treats other people. And to be accusatory of people that put bad things about you in a paper is one thing, but to treat people who are flawed in their behavior, but who have given everything to you, to treat them like that is a lot worse than trying to get a vindication over what a newspaper may be doing. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it in context of how we should be looking at this. It may be hard for people. You know, I can imagine if a loved one of mine may have done something that I didn't like, and I would want to support them no matter what. You still have an obligation to set the record straight with your loved one, to say, like, you wrong. You don't do that. Like, don't you do that. Right? But at the same time, you know, you correct the behavior, but you still love them. Right? You correct the behavior, you still love them. You still don't treat them like they're criminals. And, you know, people who continue to want to excuse this behavior have to really stop and question, what are they excusing? What does it say about them who excuse Meghan's behavior? So, but as the Court of Appeal said, this was a judgment on a narrow issue involving one newspaper. It is not a vindication of Harry and Meghan's repeated attacks on the entire press. So moreover, what Meghan has shown is that when newspapers, oh, my Mr. Otis, he's crying. You hear him? I have to go get him. Let me go get him. I'll be right back. So we know in the end, it didn't matter all those things, but they did come out, and it's good that they did come out, because now we have a little bit more insight into who Meghan Markle is with proof. So, you know, it simply wasn't proportionate to have countered a People magazine article in February of 2019 featuring Meghan's friends speaking the truth about her relationship with her father by laying bare contents of the letter. So this is the issue. This is why things were, you know, held back into her favor. But the courts, but we know the Associated News can also countersue her for the lies. They can countersue her for the costs that they will now probably have to pay now, because there were things that were revealed in this court case that will now be a very good case for the newspapers to countersue the things that came out during this court case. And just like that, before I could even get this video out to you, it has recently come out. Associated Newspapers consider Supreme Court appeal after judges ruled in Meghan's favor in a legal dispute over publication of letters she wrote to her father. This, my friends, is going to get really nasty, and this win is not necessarily a win just yet. We have to look at how this court case now has continued to bloom into something that it really shouldn't. You just really shouldn't do this. This really shouldn't be happening. While she may look at this as a victory now, what will the victory be when the countersues, when they come back and sue her for the lies that were exposed during this trial? Will she be prosecuted for lying to the courts? What does this say about her character? When she's denied doing things that came out that she really did do it? How much more has been manipulated that we don't know about while she was in the royal family? Will it come out in the courts that she knew she never wanted to stay within the royal family from the very beginning, but made up lies about being stressed and not wanting to be in the public eye, but yet continuing to be in the public eye while now no longer in the UK? So, you know, judges, Lord Justice Bean ended up believing that Meghan did have a lapse of memory. And that's just laughable to me. That's just laughable. It's like, for real, you gonna say she really did have a lapse of judgment? Okay, I'm gonna try that one. Let me see how it worked out for me. I didn't remember that. I did not remember. Within the span of several months of a back and forth conversation, I just didn't remember. Yeah, I didn't know I did that. I had a lapse of memory. Okay, the result is undoubtedly a triumph, not only for the Duchess, but for the royal family too, because it was like, we don't want that stuff coming out. We don't want this to go to trial, because then things are going to be coming out about other people in the royal family that she may, you know, that might just have to be exposed. You know, they don't want that. So we know Meghan, she didn't waste no time getting out her statement. She was like, Lord, let me get out the statement. And so in this statement, she continued to say things that were just not good for her and her character, because the things that she was saying about the press, we have on her. So these harmful practices don't happen once in a blue moon, but they are a daily field that divide us, and we all deserve better. And I would say, Meghan Markle, your father deserves better. Be nice to people. Be nice to people that once loved you and treated you with the dignity and respect that you would want for yourself. It's hurtful to be ignored. It's hurtful for Meghan to tell blatant lies on her family members. That's hurtful. But at the Court of Appeal said this was a judgment on a narrow issue involving a newspaper. It is not a vindication of Harry and Meghan's repeated attacks on the entire press. And it certainly is not a vindication of Meghan Markle's character, because what came out from this appeals case will be remembered forever, etched in history. And it will prove that Meghan Markle, at the end of the day, lied, proven lies to the court. What does that say about her character and how she continues to try to move forward to help people that she doesn't know, but completely obliterates and ignores and disrespects in writing the people who once loved her and took care of her? Moreover, what Meghan has shown is that when newspapers get it wrong, there is a legal recourse. If only the same could be said on social media when it comes to publish with impunity. In exposing the links, the Duchess went to not only write a letter to her father, but to also brief Omid Scobie and Carolyn Durant so that they could write their flattering account of Megxit. This case has also revealed just how much control Meghan had all along. During the Oprah Winfrey interview, she claimed she had been, quote, silenced by the monarchy. But what we have actually learned from this action is that she had a voice and she knew how to use it. The deception of Meghan and her actions runs very, very deep.